spouses, sometimes you're wondering, why are you so threatened by me? But it's because in their life, maybe while they were growing up, they had parents who had questioned them. You're good for nothing. You will never amount to nothing. You're this, you're that. You know that all those sort of experiences we had growing up. So by the time you come up, you have grown up, you have established yourself, you become this big man or big woman, and yet when you hear somebody, when you feel somebody that is better than you, or you feel that somebody is trying to question your authority or question your credentials, instantly that little child shows up again, trying to attack, trying to say, why are you questioning me? Why are you trying to, So it's that child showing up saying, I'm more than you are. And so we come with attack. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So that's why I'm saying that your experiences as a child continues to manifest itself even in your journey as a childhood. And that's why we keep talking about mental health. Because your understanding of these things, that's what brings about self-awareness. And so when we say a man or a woman is self-aware, then you've gotten to that part where you understand why certain emotions are showing up, but then you're able to take control. Because the truth is that I've met professors, I've sat with my own therapists who have spent years, they're doctors, they're professors, they've been maybe 30, 40 years, and still, some of them still struggle with self-esteem. So when I say that mind map is shaped, is cemented, we mean that it is because research has shown over and over. So it will show up, but your ability to be self-aware, the being self-aware shows that you've mastered it, you've understood what is happening. So you can feel yourself being threatened, and when an emotion shows up, you're asking yourself, but why am I angry about this statement? Why is this person affecting me? So you're able to reflect on it, and then you're now able to tell yourself, calm down. You don't need to get angry, calm down. You don't need to react, calm down. You don't need to take this too far. That's what being self-aware means. But when you're not self-aware, you react. Then you come back and think, and then the regrets and the guilt and the shame. So a lot of us carry shame because we take decisions, we react to things, we do things, and then later we ask ourselves, well, that was childish, but there was no need for this now. I didn't need to say this thing. I should have just kept quiet, but it has already happened. And that's because we're not self-aware. But then when you reach that level of self-awareness, before you act, in that 1 second, something will just tell you, no, calm down, think about it. You're able to regulate your emotions. You're able to check, this emotion that I'm trying to express now, is it needed at this time? Can I hold it back for an hour? Can I hold it back for 2 days? Can I just think about it? Is it about me? Or is it about this other person manifesting their own weaknesses or their own mental health issues? Because a lot of the times she doesn't like me. Oh, it might be because of the conversation we had yesterday. Meanwhile, you don't know what I'm dealing with. I may have just had a quarrel with my husband or something. I may have just had a phone call. It's just not about you. Yes, maybe me and you had a conversation last night and it didn't end well. And so this morning I'm responding to you in a particular way. It's about me. Or maybe I'm just a very oversensitive person and every little thing gets to me. It's still about me that I didn't reach you well. It doesn't mean you have done anything. It just means that I am somebody who takes a longer time to deal with things, or I have a malice problem, or I have whatever it is, it's about me. So you get to that, when you become self-aware, you get to that point where you realize that a lot of things in this life is not about you. It's about the person you are dealing with. So the way they choose to react, and when you understand that, you always give people a bit of space. You always give people a bit of benefit of the doubt. You always take that 1 second to say, okay, let me think about this reaction. It's not about me. It's not insulting me. It's not disrespecting me. It's about whatever it is going through. Are we together? Are we flowing? Okay. So I just wanted to explain that as we go forward. We'll still come back to this anyway. Let's go to the next. My slide coordinator. Okay, no, he's coming. Okay. So now that we understand that, then of course we have the genetics and the which I didn't explain, the environment. That for some of us, you have an angry father. The likelihood of you being an angry person it's there. You have whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. All those comes from the genes. All those things also affect how your mental health, how you react, and how your mental health affects you. So, what are the common midlife stressors? This is the part that I think is really important. Please, can you help me? Where is I don't know. Okay, can you help me with time? Because I tend to run off. This part must not exceed 1 hour. So it's like 10 minutes of this particular mental. Just let me know so that I round up quickly. Okay, thank you. So common midlife stressors. What are they? By the time you're getting to 40, so some of job for 20-something years. Some of us, like me, I've done like 5 different careers. I'm like somebody who has ADHD. I can't do one thing. I'm jumping from here to there. I've had like different careers. But for some of us, we've been in one space. Maybe mainly after your service, you got retained. And now you're still working in this organization. You'll be rising. And all you're thinking of is, okay, I want to get to the top. And then sometimes you just get to that 40, 42, 43. You've been there for 10, 15 years. And then you just don't understand what you're doing anymore. Especially if you get to an office where maybe there's no promotion or you're having issues. So career transition, career stagnation and transition, these are things that begin to show up. Sometimes we don't want to admit that the frustration we're getting from all it comes from the fact that we're feeling stagnant. But a lot of us carry fear. Fear, do I change this career at this time? What do I do? What if it doesn't work out? And so you're dealing with these frustrations, you're dealing with these worries. You know you're not productive. For some of us, we're okay with routine. But for some people, because as I said, personality is different. We all carry different kind of personalities. For some of us, you want to try your hands at different things. You like to see yourself creating things. You like to see yourself making impact, making a difference. So you don't like routine. And then you're there at this job. Every morning you go to the office, you sign the file, you have the meeting, you do it, you go home. You come back the next day, you sign the file, you have the meeting, you go home. So this is your life. And then you're wondering, why wake up feeling so unfulfilled? What's going on with me? I get the salary, but I'm not happy. But sometimes you don't want to, it's difficult, it's not so easy to admit or to look inwards and say, this is what is happening to me. Am I speaking to anybody here? Oh, okay, I thought nobody would say yes. Okay, I'm happy. This is a very good group. At least you're being vulnerable with each other. So we have that career stagnation. That's something that happens to us in midlife. And that's why this crisis start coming up. So when somebody is acting in a particular, it's a midlife crisis, but these are the underlying things that are really draining us. It's very draining when you feel that you're stagnant, you're not moving, and you want to move, but of course Nigeria doesn't make it easy to drop one career and pick another one. And so this begins to affect your productivity, affect your joy, no matter what is around you. Your wife is loving, you have children, and somebody is telling you you're so blessed, but you look at yourself and you're feeling so unfulfilled. Then we have caring for aging parents. By the time we're getting, a lot of you here, your mother's fathers are getting to 70. Now they're calling you 90, depending on which born you are, your first born, second born, last born. They're calling you from home. Now before you didn't have any worries, now they're telling you, Mama needs to go to hospital, they need to do medical tests. These are issues. These are issues. Yes, last week I was at a workshop like this, and we were talking, it was an Alzheimer's workshop, and we're talking about caring for the elderly when they begin to forget, when they start dealing with dementia. And I was talking about the grief of that. For some of us, you're used to, anything happens, you're calling your father. Your father might have been a lawyer, or he's a lawyer, or is this or that. What do you call it? The wealth of knowledge resides in him. And every small thing you're calling daddy, what should I do about this? Any small thing you're calling mommy, all of a sudden, mommy doesn't recognize you. So these are challenges that you begin to deal with. Hospital, bills, worries, problems, like that. So these are things that also challenge us. Sometimes it's difficult. You're frustrated, but you don't want to show that you're frustrated because you want to be the good son, the good daughter. Then sometimes you have sibling issues. Maybe other siblings are pushing every responsibility to you. Why is it only me that is taking Mama to the hospital? So these are real deep problems that really eat into our souls and affect us. Remember what we were talking about, midlife crisis. So some of you might have said midlife crisis thinking it's just office. Now we're listing them out. Then we have, so caring for aging parents while supporting children. Of course, you understand school fees. Those of you living in Abuja, school fees, you're paying school fees, you're still sending money home. Then we have relationship changes. Now there's something that is going on right now in the world, all over Nigeria too. We have what we call great divorce. So before, divorce used to be something that you find maybe among younger couples. Now we're seeing women of 25 years of marriage, they just wake up, or men, and say, I beg, I'm not doing, I'm done. I'm done. And they'll be like, we thought you were happily married. They'll say, no, I'm done. So we're having higher numbers of great divorce. Maybe before, during our parents' time, I tell people that I did a workshop one day on language. The power of language. When you don't know what something is, you can't give it meaning. I hope you know that. If I come and I speak to you in my language and I say, you, you're very ugly, you're stupid, you're this, you just look at them and be smiling. But the minute you know what I'm saying, then you're going to get angry and react. And I think that's what's happening to us now. We didn't know what depression was before. We didn't know what this was, all the femininity. We didn't know a lot of things. So we couldn't apply it to what we were feeling. And that's why sometimes we say, why is it that our mothers managed or our fathers endured? But now we know the words. We know what they mean. So when you think about it, I say, well, why am I stagnant? Why do I feel unfulfilled? I'm unfulfilled. I'll leave this man. Let me move on. I'll find something that I can do with my life. At least even if it's 10 years before I die. So that's what's happening. Because a lot of marriages, even during our parents' time, have been teaching on that line of unfulfillment. But not finding the right words to describe the feeling made people just say, okay, maybe it's just one of those things. But now, that is happening. So there's a higher level of divorce. I'll talk about that when I start talking about retirement. And like there was a lady I spoke to, an elderly woman that came to me. She came to me for therapy. And this one has been married for, all her kids are grown and even married. And she's not leaving the husband, but she resents the husband. This is after over 30 years of marriage. She resents the husband. Why? Because throughout their path when they were growing up, she gave up so much to allow the husband achieve his dreams. So he will say, oh, they'll transfer us here, she'll leave her job, she'll follow the husband. They'll transfer them here, she'll leave her job, follow the husband. She'll start this business, she'll pack it up, leave it and follow the husband. And then time goes on, then the husband now gets to the point where he's like 70 and he now falls sick. When she's thinking, okay, maybe by the time he retires, I can get the chance to do my own thing. Then this man retires at 60-something and then he starts having illnesses. And so now she becomes a caregiver. And she's looking at this man and she's saying, you took away my life. You took away everything. I'm nothing. I have nothing to show. You understand? And so resentment. And so her children called me and said, okay, please, we want to bring our mom for therapy. We think our mom needs therapy because she's being so mean to our dad. Our dad is lying there, he's almost falling off the bed and she's just been looking at him. So slowly resentment has slowly developed to hatred. And that's what's happening now. And if you're not aware of it, that's what's going to happen. Like I heard somebody talking about marriage here. Men, women, pay attention to what's going on in your marriages because what I'm seeing at the place of therapy, a lot of us are going to see different. We're thinking that the Gen Z are the problems, but our own because there's resentment. A lot of couples are living together and they're not together. They're just flatmates. A lot of people were married outside. There's a lot of resentment. And when there's hatred, it's worse than what were we blaming Tinubu for doing recently? Sorry for mentioning it for the issue of where there's violence and somebody actually even physically hurts another person and maybe kills the person. There's something that is even worse than that, which is slow killing. When you know that your partner hates you, but you're together in the same house, like living with the person that's killing you, and that's what's happening in marriages now. So midlife is the time you begin to pay attention. How have I been treating this woman, and how have I been treating this man? Please think about it. That's part of midlife crisis. So then we have, of course, the empty nest. For those of us that married early, our children by now, most of them maybe are going to university or secondary school. For some of us, our lives, because maybe of the situation or the conditions in marriage, especially for the women, we wrapped our lives around our children. And so you sweep things under the carpet, you don't deal with the issues in your marriage, and then you make your children the center of attention. Everything is on your children. Then you wake up and these children have moved up to university, and you're not left with this man, and both of you are looking at each other like this. You can't even have a 1-hour conversation, because every time, by the time you're talking, this one, you have the children to scold, you have the children to complain about, so you don't realize that for the past 10 years, you and your husband have not even had a really beautiful, friendly conversation. Then you wake up one day, you come home, and it's just the two of you looking at each other. No conversation. Am I speaking to somebody here? That's the emptiness syndrome. It can affect us in so many ways. And then what even makes it worse for the women is because when you wrap your life around those kids, then those children, you call them. I was speaking to one woman the other day, she was crying on the phone. She said, I dropped my daughter in school, and I called my daughter to come and help me. I said, Mommy, I'm busy. Mommy, I'm busy. The son said, Mommy, I'm busy. They don't have time for you, because that's their own generation issues. They are dealing with themselves. They don't care about you. So these children that you wrapped your lives around all these years, they're looking at you like, please, Mommy, leave me alone. Then you turn husband too. Both of you have drifted apart. So emptiness syndrome has its own. It's like a whole day's lecture. I can talk about that for a whole day. That's part of midlife crisis. Health concerns and hormonal changes. Menopause, women, meant to have their own. But this is begin to bring perimenopause and all that. We begin to have those hormonal changes. Things are beginning to happen. I told you I was talking, okay, no, that was different. I had another lecture where we were talking about menopause with women, and I was saying, for those of the men and the women, you were active sexually every day. Then all of a sudden you come back, and your wife will say, please leave me alone, I beg, I don't want. And the man is wondering, okay, what do you want me to do? And the woman is wondering, okay, I used to make this man so happy. Now I can't make him that happy, no matter what I do. So she's now struggling. Is he going out? Is he getting this thing somewhere else? And then she's struggling to meet up, but the body is not allowing her because the estrogen level is low. No matter what she does, she can't feel those emotions and those feelings she used to feel for you. In fact, for some women, they get so irritated at the sight of a naked man. So, and then you're wondering, what do you do? And then you don't have enough knowledge and education to know that this is how this thing is affecting my wife. I need to hold her hand. It's just a period. Sometimes it's a period of 7 years. It's a period of 5 years. It's a period of 2 years, depending on how the hormonal changes are going in the body. So if you don't know what's happening, this becomes an issue of stress. This becomes an issue of anxiety. Then there's problem in the marriage. There's depression. There's worry. And that's how it starts. Another midlife crisis. And then, of course, for those of us that have been a bit careless, even these days, even when you're not careless with your health, just the fact that you're eating Indomie, sorry, I don't mean to discredit Indomie, you're eating all those packed things, we find out that the health challenges are more now. It's not like before we were eating Thomas and our Tongacha and the rest of them when life was good. Now we're all dealing with kidney, liver. You say, oh, but I don't drink, I don't smoke, but yet something is going wrong in the body because our food has changed. Everything has chemical in it. Everything has, we're dealing with so much. So by the time you get to 40, 45, you want to start going for checkups and checking what's going on with my body. Don't say, oh, I don't drink, I don't smoke, so it's okay. No, those checkups are necessary, exercise is necessary and all that. So, but those are part of the things we experience as midlife crisis. Of course, financial pressure. Daddy here said, financial obligation. When you're paying school fees for primary school, you think it's a lot. Then you move to secondary school, you say, this one is a lot. Now, because we're all running away from ASU, we're going to private universities. Private universities will show you something there, 2 million, 3 million, and you have 4 kids, and then you're paying their school fees, and life is so tough. You understand? So, all those pressures. For some of us, we had dreams. Oh, by the time I'm 40, I want to own my house. By the time I'm 45, I want to have 2. When my father was 40, he already had 4 houses. And you're struggling to pay for that one house. And it's not working out. All these things are things that stress us. That's midlife issues. You can't help but worry about it because these were goals that you had set. These are things you wanted for your children. I wanted my kids to go here, to go there, go abroad, do these things, and then it's not coming up that way. And then, of course, reassessing our life achievements, which is almost the same thing as I said, and purpose. What's my purpose? What have I achieved so far? What impact have I made? What's my life about? These are the thoughts you begin to have by the time you cross over from 40. So these are the things that actually bring about midlife stressors. Have I spoken to somebody? Have I missed out anything? Have I missed out any? Yes, sir. Okay, I thought you said I missed out any. Does anybody have anything to add? I know they're all kind of intertwined with other things I may not have mentioned, but they're all together, yeah. But basically, these are the common ones, the common midlife stressors. So when we talk about midlife crisis, it's real. You don't say I don't have it, you have it. I have had it. I'm still having it. We're all having it. And it's important that we accept that these are the things. The problem with taking care of things, you don't need to copy. I've done this thing like a PDF. I promised her that I was going to give you. I was supposed to print out, but I said, why print out? So I did it like a PDF, and everybody will get it. Yeah, good. So, okay. So, we all have midlife crisis. We all have issues. What we tend to do, especially I'm glad that this room was more of men, is we tend to deny. I'm a man. I can't show that these are the stressors I'm going through. These are the things that are stressing me. Admit it, oh. You have only one life to live. Admit it so that you help yourself. Next slide, please. So we've understood the stressors. We've understood what it's doing to us. And now how it affects us. I think I mentioned some as I was going. The emotional impact. Anxiety. What's anxiety? Anxiety is worrying about what is to come. Okay? When we are afraid of what we have left behind. So if I walk into this place and I see or you walk into my house, I have 3 dogs and my dog comes to bite you, next time you're coming to my house, you're going to stand at the gate and say, I beg, somebody come and open the gate for me. That's because there's fear. You experienced fear the last time you came to my house, so you're going to react. What you're manifesting is fear of what could happen. Anxiety is the fear of the unknown. It has not happened yet. But because you have an imagination and expectation of what you want, then you are now afraid that it will not pan out the way you are thinking. And so that's where anxiety builds. And that's where all these stressors that I talked about, that's where they come from. Financial pressure. Can we build that house? Can we do this one? Can we pay the school fees? Can we meet up? Can I do this? I should be doing this. I could have been here. I'm not supposed to be here. Could have, should have, would have. Those are the things that bring about anxiety. You understand? And so those are the emotional impact. And so you that used to be so friendly, you used to be so outgoing before, I'm sure some of you remember maybe during during university days, you'd be like, I know Madam Amini, we used to know Madam Amini is just like this. Hello, you know that kind of thing. He's no longer that boisterous person. What has happened? The life has been drained out of him. Anxiety. He's worried. He's looking at himself. I'm getting to 50. I've not achieved those dreams. And those things have great impact on our health. Great impact on our health. Then self-doubt. You that used to be so confident. When they are talking, you stand, you talk. All of a sudden, because certain things are not falling in place. Remember I talked about stagnancy in the place of work. Before, when you were walking, when you go for meetings, you're bringing down ideas. But because you don't even realize that there's a stagnancy in that place of work that has stolen that vitality, you all of a sudden your brain slows down. Because the thing about cognitive things is that if you're not putting the brain to work, the brain too will just say, let's sleep. That's it. And so if you're in a place where you're stagnant, where there are no challenges, nothing is pushing you, then you find out that you're not learning anything new. You're not making any effort. You're just looking for the next promotion and the next promotion. Promotion in Nigeria doesn't require much. You read, you write for an exam. Because sorry, I don't need any. No pun intended, but it's just the truth. And so there's no learning going on. You go for workshops, your office sends you for conferences. Rather than sit in the hall, you go shopping, and so you don't learn something new. And then you think, oh, okay, you're doing it to maybe whoever is paying for the conference, but you're really actually doing it to yourself because you're not learning anything. And if you're not learning, then the brain, as long as this brain, if you don't put it to work, we call it it's neuroplasticity. The brain continues to enlarge, continues to build up as long as you're building it. That's why you see women or people, men and women who are active even when they are older, in their 80s and whatever, you find that their own risk of dementia is a lot lower. Stop learning and see. By the time you're 65, 70, dementia has started settling, especially now. Dementia is a lot higher. So you have to put this brain to work. And so you find out that when you go for meetings, all of a sudden, people are bringing out ideas. They're not bringing out anything. Then you start getting angry at that other younger worker that has come and is bringing out, you're saying they are favoring him because he's young. No, it's not because he's young, it's because he has ideas. Because he's putting his brain to work. That's it. And so self-doubt sets in. When you now go for 1 or 2 meetings and they shut you up or they say something, then you begin to doubt yourself. Rather than carry that shame, look inwards and say, what's happening to me? You get angry, you begin to react, and so you miss it. You miss it. What happened? Oh. Then, of course, we're very talked about feeling stuck and all of it. Let's move on. So, what can we do? Okay? What can we do? Let's move to them. So, we reframe challenges as growth opportunities for renewal and reinvention. That's one of the things we can do. We've talked about the stressors, talked about what's happening, but what can we do about it? We reframe challenges as growth. Is that this? Is there? Okay, you're trying to. Okay, and they're supposed to be. Okay. So we reframe challenges as growth opportunities for renewal and reinvention. I talked about learning. What can I do different? How do I begin to renew myself? What can I do different? Now, what's happened? Because it was okay before, then it just nothing has changed in the slide. Okay, well, I'm talking about the way you're sorting it out. I'll give you an example with myself. I was in HR till I think before I got to my 40s. And then I got up one day and I told my husband, I'm not doing this thing again. I feel that there's much more to do. Maybe I'm a bit lucky because my husband was working and I felt, okay, I could take that chance. And then I just changed. First of all, I was in HR. Then I had problems with my house help and everything. I love cooking. Cooking is a big hobby of mine. So I got up and I went to catering school. I said, okay, let me just perfect this and then I can do a I would leave my house early in the morning. I didn't have time for my kids. And then we had some house help issues, all those witchcraft. So many things happened in my house. And I saw my house falling apart. And I got up one day and told my husband I'm resigning. We will live up on one income. I will try this business and see. And I left work. And I told myself I won't go back to work until my children go to secondary school. Whatever the sacrifice, I'm willing to make it. And I dropped off. And I started catering. I started cooking. At least I was at home. I could pick my children from school. I could ask them how was school. I could talk with them. I stayed with them. I started that catering business. It grew, and then by the time my last one went into secondary school, and I said, okay, now it's time. What do I want to do? And then I decided, okay, you know what? I was in HR before. I know that I looked at the gifts and the talent that I had, and I said, okay, let me go into psychology. And that was how, and I went back to school. I already had a master's, but I now went back. I went to the UK. I left my husband, went to the UK and I went back to school. And then I started this career. Now, as I said earlier, I have so many different careers. But what that has done for me is that it has allowed me just change, reframe, renew, and just find different ways that I can, have evolved over the years. And so for some of us, yes, as I said, you might not have the opportunity. Maybe you, the man, you might not have. My husband has been steady in his own place of work, but he has allowed me to evolve in different ways. And in doing that, I finally now come to the place where now I'm doing this. I have my career, I have my practice in Abuja now. I'm a therapist. I have clients that come in. Then because of the catering I did, I got into spices. Now I have a production company. I produce spices. I produce tea. But that was because of my experience as a caterer. So I have that business running, which me and my husband are into, because if he retires, he needs something to come back to. Okay, and then I have my mental health advocacy that I'm doing. So sometimes you need to look at yourself, especially when you get to that 40. Even if you're not going to make a change, look at your partner, sit down and have that discussion. What's happening? If your partner can handle it, you now say, okay, maybe let me go back to school, let me do something else, or let me begin to prepare something that even if I can't do it now, when I retire, I can take up this new field. So that's the reframing thing we're talking about. Don't just give in and feel that it's over, you cannot do it. There are so many, with education now, there are so many avenues. You don't even have to leave your house, that you can, just re-strategize. Okay, what can I do differently? Okay? And then develop coping skills. We talked about learn problem-solving techniques and emotional regulation strategies. I talked about, when I was talking about the different framework for mental health, but for us to understand, I talked about how you can control your emotions. A lot of we don't have time to go too deep into that. We're doing maybe emotional intelligence, and I do want to also just focus on just mental health, maybe emotional growth or emotional development, so that you will get the chance to experience all these other things I'm talking about. If not, we would have gone that route. But you can go to YouTube, you can learn. Self-learning is good. There's many things you can learn about yourself, about your emotions, about growing, about self-discovery. And then you engage in meaningful activities. You pursue hobbies that are interesting, find volunteer work, create outlets that bring joy and purpose, and then you monitor mental health symptoms. Be aware of signs of depression, be aware of anxiety or burnout, and address them early. I've already talked about all these things. Be aware of them. Most times we know what is happening with us. I tell people that we carry shame. Everybody, if we were to look at ourselves, like we were to depict ourselves, everybody has one small bag of shame that they're carrying. You're either carrying shame of, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, shame of, I'm not as nice as I'm supposed to be, I'm not as present as I'm supposed to be. For some of us, we maybe realize later in life that we're introverts or something. You're not showing up for your friends, you're not showing up for your family. For some of us, we have become so maybe we worry too much about ourselves that we don't give out to others. So everything, there's an element of shame attached to it. And unless we understand what is making us feel that way, we can't deal with it. Let us go to the next slide. Okay, building resilience, that's the topic here. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, these are just stress management techniques that I put in there. Things that you can do to just, as the stress is going on. The thing is that we're in Nigeria, some of these things we're talking about here, we can't change them in one day. But while you're trying to make a change, while you're trying to, find better ways, please manage your stress, because research has shown that one of the greatest causes of high blood pressure, even diabetes, all those other physical illnesses we have is stress, because it really affects a lot of people. So please try to reduce anxiety, improve focus, take it easy, wake up in the morning, just calm down, meditate, think about what you have control over. What can I not control? I can't control this. Okay, what else can I do about it? Learn to have that perspective about it. It's not a do or die thing. Okay, please. Then physical activity and then sleep hygiene. A lot of us are not sleeping. Research has also shown that a lot of people that are the slump and diving, it's not because they are not eating well or they are not exercising. It's because they are not sleeping. Sleep is very, very important. Please, if you are not sleeping, seek help. Especially if you know that you're suffering from real insomnia. Seek help. I'm begging you. Then time management, set boundaries, avoid burnout. You don't have to do everything. You're not master of all. You're not missus of all. You don't have to be at every meeting. You don't have to be at every listening, except if it's work. But social things, know which ones you can do. Time out your things. If you're busy this weekend, you have to go 4 weddings. Choose 2. Send apologies for 2. But just learn how to cut down. And then creative outlets. You need to find things that bring your inner self out, your inner creative self out. Okay, next slide. Okay. I think no. Okay, then strengthening social connections. Social connections are so important. So important. This picture here, up there, that's my husband and his friends. I have to take his permission to put that picture. My husband has a set of friends. There are 7 of them. 4 of them went to primary school together. They met the rest. 3 of them went to primary school together. The other 4, they met in Form 1. They have a WhatsApp group. They are so close. This is their 8th or 7th boys trip. This is their 7th boys trip. Every year they go to a different African country. They come together, they start saving, they plan, okay, we're going to go to this year. This was in Namibia, just last month. So they come together, they put money, then they pick a date. By the time that date is coming, you see all of them struggling. They say, I can't travel. This meeting, but because they already paid the airfare, they already paid for the trip, their money cannot go. Because most times to do these things, you have to be determined. But they have kept it going. If I show you the videos of what these men do when they travel, it's amazing. They become boys. They will play, they will go on sport bikes, they will go and swim, they will go golfing, they will go and they do also every year they just have a different plan. They've been to Rwanda, they've been to Kenya, every year they go to a different country. So they go for 10 days to 2 weeks, depending on the time they have. But I know that it does wonders for them. Not only has it brought them closer, they call themselves the brothers. Not only has it brought themselves closer, because now I tell him that I'm not afraid. When I think of my husband, I think of his brothers. It's like they're like a copy, because they have all become, they're a copy to each of us, the wives. We don't follow them, but we are confident that this men just need this time. Please, social connections are important. I'm saying this especially for the men, because for you men, you are so taken over by bills and responsibilities. It is the right thing to do. But please, I beg you, you don't want to spend this whole life struggling, pay me. When you get to 50, slump and die. God forbid, it's not going to happen to anybody, but that's the truth. Then you have life has not, you've not done anything. You've worked so hard, and all you've done is pay bills. So take that little time out. Life has to have more meaning. Be able to think back one day, even when you're 70, and say, this life was good, I struggled though. There were challenges. But this life was good. Thank God for Aminu, thank God for Peter, thank God for Daniel, thank God for this group of people that have been by my side. We've had some good times together. It's not that when you want to think of good times, you only remember in university when you used to sit under one tree and gist. No, life has to be more than that. So social connection, especially in this midlife time. Because the truth is that Nigeria is what it is. These bills must be paid, and these bills will keep creeping up. These problems will be there. Sometimes you can't do anything about the marriage problems. 2 of the guys here are separated from their wives. 2 of them here are divorced. But life goes on. If they could, they would fix their marriage, but things happen. So 2 of them are divorced. So it's not like they're all having together. There's one of them there that is still struggling to pay bills. When they can't pay, the others just say, you know what, we'll pay for you, let's go. Because they have an agreement that we must go together. So when one person can't pay, the others will chip in, they will pay. This year, all of them were struggling and they were like, oh, this one. One of them that is a millionaire there said, you know what, I don't want any stress. He paid for everybody. He said, let's go. You understand? Then people can sort me out later. So you need to, the thing is that it's intentionality. You can't just think that you are going to have fun. Even for us women, when we say let's hang out, I think that with women is a lot easier. Women can come together and do this. Because even as a woman, I can just call my friend and say, I've cooked food, come let's sit on the carpet and let's eat the food. By the time we do 3 hours, and join me. By the time we see that there 4 hours, they say women talk, but that's what helps us get on. But even for women, we are not encouraging. Go somewhere, do something. When you get to this midlife, the stressors are there. But see the stressors. They cannot go anywhere. They're there. You might be able to walk through them, but please, when you can be intentional about giving yourself something to smile about, please do that. Okay? And then when it's too tough, when things are too confusing, I beg you seek therapy. It's not because I want you to come to me, okay? It's not because I'll do therapy, but really, therapy is the way that helps. It's about just sitting with somebody who will not judge you, sitting with somebody who will encourage you, who will listen to you non-judgmentally. A safe space. You can say all the horrible things, all the good things, but at the end of the day, you walk out of that space just getting back yourself. As I talked about, sometimes doubt, all this, you come out of that place, regaining that confidence in yourself, that trust in yourself, that belief. That's what therapy does. So those who go for therapy are not people that are weak. I have a lot of men that come to me for therapy. Sometimes it's marriage issues and then we end up being, but I have men that I sit with them. Sometimes they will cry, they will pour out their hearts because men hold back so much in. So you come to that space where it's just you and your therapist who must safeguard all your secrets. But you feel okay, then you come out and then you become a better person for your wife, for your colleagues, for everybody. So please, seek therapy when needed. So that's strengthening social conditions. Did we get something from there? Next slide. Next slide. I'll still slow down so that we can just, I can talk to you. I just like to get through the slides quickly because I want us to. There's 30 new goals. Reassess personal and professional aspirations. Set achievable goals that align with your values. Celebrate small wins to build confidence. Then cultivate positivity, practice gratitude daily, focus on what's within your control. Let me see the next slide, let me show you. Then lifestyle adjustment, which is the most important thing, which kind of just summarizes what I've said. Nutrition, please, by the time we get to this age, let's start to think about what we're eating. This food I'm eating, how does it support my brain and my heart? You're taking fruits or you're taking, it's not every fruit that, like I was talking to some people the other day about when I was doing the workshop on menopause. By the time you get to 40, you should know your body. You should know your body. What can my body take? You take milk and you feel funny. But you want this, I love milk. You keep taking milk. It's not going to help you. You're eating corn. I ate granules. I love boiled granules. And one day I got up and I ate granules. That granule refused to digest. It's fat in my stomach till the night. I just kept feeling it. I wanted to die. Like, why can I remove this granules from my stomach? That was the last day. So by the time you get to this age, pay attention. Pay attention to your body. What is my body accepting? What do I digest easily? What am I able to metabolize easily? What is it that doesn't let me be comfortable? When I eat at 6, doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Then you stop eating. Once it's 6 p.m., no more. You stop eating by 5. When I eat at 8, what does it make me feel? In the morning, should I wake up, maybe just move around and go for lunch? Instead of breakfast, maybe I start from 12. Listen to your body. Don't follow any book or anything anybody say. You know your body. So follow what your body is telling you. There's this book I love. You know, some people don't believe in it. Eat according to your blood type. For me, it works for me. If your blood type O, there are certain foods that make that easy for your body to digest, that is more beneficial to your body. Like for blood type O, usually like meats like goat meat and stuff like that are very good. But wheat and other things I don't eat because I realize that I don't even digest those things easily. So you may not necessarily go and look for that book, but the thing is that by the time you're doing this every day, you know what you need. So the more you understand your body, the more you feed your body with what will enhance your body to do it the best that it can. For brain activity, you want to see things that enhance brain activity, cognitive, sorry. Yes, the cognitive ability, you want to see foods that, enhance that, your heart activities, things like beetroot, like so many other things, but check. All information is on the internet. What can I eat? What can I drink that will enhance that? Are you not taking alcohol? Then you bring it down a bit, bring it down. We're not saying stop. Bring it down to 3, bring it down to 2, bring it down to 1, bring it down to once a week, once in 2 weeks. Do it for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to pay this bill, then you just finish and die. Sorry I'm putting it that way, but that's the reality. Or you pay these bills, you get to 50, 55, and then you're sitting down, stroke. And then life is just passing. You'll see your children using your money, your wife coming back and say, hello, sweetie, how did you eat? Did they make food for you? Okay, let me go out. I'm going out. It's true. come back and say, hey, now, have you done? Is it okay? Talk about it. Bye-bye. You know? So that's the truth. So these are the things that will motivate you. You need to think about yourself. You need to think about, so when we talk about self-love, people think it's being selfish and all that. No, it's not about keeping things for yourself, but it's about paying attention to what is important to you. So what am I doing to my body? This body can only serve you as long as you serve it. If you stop serving the body, it stops serving you. So pay attention. What are you eating? What are you drinking? Are you sleeping? Are you exercising? Please, it's for you. So that retirement age can have meaning. Me and my husband always joke about the fact that I can't tell my children that I won't do a Google for you the way my mother did for me. I will employ somebody because at that time, my husband will be going to Maldives and everywhere. That's the idea. I was thinking I'm a new home mama, I'll be up and about. So I will employ someone to, you know what, just like this, you have plans for 60, you have plans for 70. Make it happen. But it's now. It's now, I beg of you. So, regular health checkup, monitor your hormonal changes, and then chronic conditions. Some of us, we can't help it. We have diabetes because of genetics. We have maybe certain heart problems because of our genes, because of what we inherited from our parents. We can't help those ones. Some of us have, like I said, because of what we eat, you can, even if you're trying to be a healthy thing, you just find out that there's a disease in your body. We can't help it. But if you do a diagnosis and there's something wrong with you, follow the doctor's instructions and do what needs to be done to manage that illness. Don't give up. Just because they say, oh, there's cancer today or something, God forbid, nobody will have that. But if it's there, it can be managed. There are people that have gone through it, managing it. So you put all your heart and soul into doing the best that you can. If it, you know, that's the whole idea. Let's do the best that we can. Let's be intentional about what we can do. Let me say, I think that's. Okay, so that's part one. Yeah, I'll tell you stuff, right? So perfect, okay. So let's talk a bit before I go to part two. Questions, comments. I want to make sure I keep to the hour for that one. So that's why I didn't stop in the middle to interact so much. But we can take 5 minutes to just talk a bit. Anybody has anything to share? Anything to talk about? Nobody?
Yeah, I have a question. When you have a spouse who literally can't adopt easily to fun activities because of maybe busy schedules, not intentional, you get, has deadlines to meet up and all that. And sometimes you feel guilty when you have your own time and you're able to actually give yourself these things that we're talking about. But you know that because of the exigencies that your spouse is carrying, he cannot be able to meet up. Can you suggest possible solutions, peaceful ways, beautiful and subtle ways without him really feeling guilt trap or that you're trying to monitor him or to mold him? Can you help me suggest ways I could engage him into also experiencing some of this happiness and joy that comes with taking care of yourself and not just work to meet up bills?
Okay, I hope you all heard her question. Yes, okay. That's a bit of a tough one because personality differences can be quite strong too. So I could suggest one thing, but does not necessarily mean it will work. Because as much as we understand the personality differences, you know, there's still that thing that makes an individual an individual. And so you are the only one who knows him truly in and out. But what I would just say is that you have to now be the creative one. You understand? So for instance, there's something I used to do that I don't know if that so your husband works, let's say he comes home, what time? 8 p.m., okay. And then if you now suggest, let's go out, of course he's already tired and all that. But like on a Sunday, you can invite 2 or 3 people. You understand, to the house. Maybe cook a meal, do something different. Because sometimes when you just say go out, Some people it's already stressful because it's like, oh, I have to dress up. Oh, I have to go and sit in one restaurant. Oh, I have to do this. But then if it's at home and he's sitting at home and 2, 3 of his friends just show up, like, but what are you doing here? He said, oh no, your wife just planned, said we should come and have dinner with you. That's something out of the ordinary. And then if he sits down to that dinner and they have a nice time gisting, then maybe you'll be like, oh, I want to do this again. Let's do this again. You understand? That's just one example. But it's just about you bringing the creativity in. What can I do? Little soft ways that I can begin to make him realize that we could have fun in our own little way. Because the truth is that it depends on the kind of pressure he's experiencing at work. So if you tell him, oh, you need to do this because these people are doing it, he might even feel you're comparing or you're criticizing. So you have to be, as you said, subtle ways that makes him sit back and say, oh, I'm really missing out on something. It would be nice to just do a little bit of this. I do date nights, but I don't know whether he will be open to date nights, because date nights are something that I think is something that I know to really makes the person excited. So if you can just say, you know what, I've planned something, I'm taking us, we're going out, maybe once a month. Yeah, my husband usually will do daily night. We go to any of these places, just sit and watch people and come back home around 2 a.m. and it's just really once a month. But it's just a little bit of excitement. Then another thing you can do, maybe by the time, maybe every quarter, you can just go to a hotel if you can afford it. Just go and book a room. Just make it a worthwhile time. He may still be on his laptop, he may still be receiving phone calls, but he can see that little effort that he's making. So it's those little things that begin to speak to his mind, that begin to tell him you need to try harder. So when he goes out, he sees people say, oh, we went on a holiday, he will get to a time when he'll be like, yes, let's do this, let's try more. But I don't know if that has kind of answered. But at the end of the day, it still depends on him as a person. So you know him, you know what can work, you know the family dynamics of your own home. But these are just the suggestions that I can give to draw a person out. You need to draw a person out gently, because not everybody that can just walk away. Because remember that even holding on tight to work is a trauma response. It's a trauma for some people. It's like, if I don't do this work, something's going to happen. If you pull them out and you don't put them out with understanding, it's already you're breaking the pattern that they have attached themselves to. That will just, in fact, they will get angry with you and people want to divorce you, because it's a trauma response, and the trauma response has to be dealt with accordingly. I hope it makes sense. Did I help anybody too? Okay. Any other comments? Okay, yes. I want to appreciate you so much. I'm beautiful and
nice to see.
My question goes like this. You have actually
doesn't come in.
light on the issue of menopause. But most times when we talk about menopause, they usually talk about that of the women. So I want to
That's supposed to be 2 years.
What of
2 years.
men? Do they have signs?
Which one?
Women. We want to throw some light on that, and how do we relate
Which one is
menopausal signs? Thank you.
showing?
I forgot the name of the one that we call that of the men, but yes. So menopausal signs for some men, even loss of libido too also affects the men. Loss of interest in things. Menopause has, like, for perimenopause, there are over like 20, 30 symptoms that a woman can have. Exactly. Symptoms that a woman can have. So the symptoms are numerous, and it all has to do with our own genetic makeup, our own experiences. So even the things I mentioned in terms of how mental health affects us, environment, all those things, it still shapes the way you respond to even menopause itself, because then your body would respond differently. There are so many, sometimes you feel things crawling on your body. That's why, like the talk I gave, that we talked about bringing women together when you're talking about menopause, so that the man even understands what the woman is experiencing. The woman also understands what the man is experiencing, because basically it's body changing. It's body changing. Those things that will tell the brain will tell the hormones and everything. Okay, see, we need to produce more estrogen so that we can have that adrenaline lift. We can be able to do things, and then it goes there. You're not ovulating. There's nothing happening. No estrogen, nothing, and then everywhere is just limp. So you're feeling anxious, depression, nothing makes you happy. And then, the signs are different. There are so many things happening at the same time in the body. So it's the same way with the man. So you find out that the man is irritable. Because even for a man's ego most times is boosted by his ability to perform. You understand? And so all of a sudden, he's not performing so well. He used to do 5, now he's doing 1. You understand what I mean? And then all of a sudden, he's like, what's happening to me? Frustration is coming in. Anxiety too is coming in. Will my wife go out? Will she become, what's happening? These are very, very deep things that they're so difficult to talk about. But it's about communication. That you can sit with your spouse and say, see, my body is going through changes. I'm experiencing this. And the man is able to say, okay, as every change comes across, as you begin to experience this change, let me know what you're experiencing. You maybe do a video, get a video, a documentary. You sit down, both of you, and watch it. So when you watch it, you've educated yourselves about that particular topic. So when things begin to happen, he's able to say to you, today I'm feeling this thing with, I can talk for the menopause because I've experienced, I'm having shoulder pain today. Sometimes you have that shoulder pain. For 2 months, 3 months, your shoulder will just be aching. You won't know what is going on. Sometimes you can't digest food. Your metabolism is so slow. Sometimes there are so many different things. Then, of course, even the forgetfulness, which is even the worst part of it, you forget everything. Sometimes I have to write what I need to do. At every point, I asked my girl, I said, please, I need to tie gele for a wedding that I'm having after this event. When we got into the car, I said, please remind me that when we finish this workshop, I need to go into Taco Market and tie the gele because I can finish this workshop, enter my car, and start heading home. So we forget things. So that forgetfulness sometimes can even bring quarrel. Your husband is saying, you need to pay for this. You need to go here. And I'm like, I forgot to tell you. You didn't tell me. And then quarrel has started. You didn't tell me you were going to go for this wedding. You didn't tell me these people are coming. Because the minute you drop the phone, your mind has gone somewhere else. And then as I said, cognitively, even for your husband, he used to be so sharp in the office. Then things are not happening. He's carrying that frustration. But when he's discussing it with you, you can say, okay, I'm not performing so well. Okay, I'm not as sharp as I used to be. So I think it's about, something. Please don't keep that knowledge to yourself. Sit your husband down. Look for a documentary. Look for a book. Look for something that will educate him. Or you look for it that will educate your wife. Then it becomes a subject that you discuss from time to time. We need to talk about these things. It's the only way. Because for every individual, it's different. You can't carry somebody else's manuscript and use for your own. You have to know your partner, and then both of you now talk as you're progressing through that stage. It's a phase. If you're able to get through that menopause stage, oh my goodness, you've crossed over to another part of life. That's why you see people that grow old together, you see them always happy, jolly good, just enjoying, because that is the crucial period. But once you get through postmenopausal period, then you're just free to enjoy yourself with your husband. Everything is okay. You're having your great sex again. Everything is happening. You're laughing. You're gisting. Everything is going on. So it's just a phase. But you need the education to be able to, the knowledge, to be able to manage it well. Okay. Okay. So one more so that I can.
Please, thank you for this good presentation. I would always want to put my own traditionally and look at the concept we are in. In Nigeria, we have a culture and tradition and faith. How do you advise to blend us with this?
So, with culture, I don't think anything I've said here contradicts culture or our cultural beliefs or our faith. Because everything, the most important, so for instance, let's say you're a Muslim man and you have 2 wives or 3 wives. So you will now say, okay, how do I manage this? But it's the same thing. If you have 2 wives, you have 2 wives because you love them. I think the expectation is that I don't know if I'm wrong, that for you to marry, if you're married 2 wives, you must love them equally. I think it's like that's the giving. So if you love them equally, whatever you can do with 1 wife, you should be able to do with 2 or 3 wives. So every conversation you can have with 1 wife, you can have with 3 wives. It's a discussion. Except if you have 2, 3 wives, I expect that. She said it's not possible. That's what I was about to say. If you're married to that, but I think we should understand that. You will not have a discussion about menopause with the wife that is younger. You understand? So there are different discussions. But the truth is, okay, let's say it's the man experiencing the symptoms. you still have to have the discussion with the 2-3 women because they have to understand, oh, I cannot come to your room the way I used to come, or if I come to your room, maybe you need to spend more time doing this to me. It's a discussion. That's what marriage. The thing is that the culture here is that we have a culture of not talking about things. That's it. The culture we have is a culture of not talking about things. So we don't discuss these things because it's almost as if it's a taboo. Our parents did not teach us how to talk about these things. But it's nothing wrong with it. It's for you to change the narrative because you want to have a better marriage. So if you wake up and you're dealing with the thinking that, oh, my libido is down, I'm not performing so well, you need to have that discussion. It doesn't change the fact that it will not make your wife disrespect you. It will not make your marriage less. The idea is for you to know your partner that you've married. And if you know that your wife cannot understand, like I said, in everything you do, you look at things you can control. Can I control the situation right now? Is my wife in a place where I can have this discussion with her? I once had a quarrel with somebody, and somebody came and said, you need to make up with this person, or you need to tell this person what they've done to you. And I said, no, I have looked at this person, and I know that the level where this person is right now in terms of maturity or in terms of her understanding, she will not understand the thing that has made me to withdraw in this situation. Let me give her time. I gave her a full year. And when I looked and I felt it was okay, I called her for that discussion. So it may have looked as if I was just withdrawing, but I knew that she didn't have the capacity to understand, to be able to, articulate what it was that had happened. So that's it with every relationship. And that's why I talked about emotional awareness and emotional maturity. You need to be able to know where a person is at. Can we have this discussion now? Can I hold back for a year? Can I hold back for 2 years? And even if we're going to have the discussion, what words am I using? What am I saying? How am I talking about it? So whether it's through culture or religion or whichever angle you want to take it, it's still the same thing. It's about talking respectfully and showing the person that I value you. I want you to come with me on this journey because we need to enjoy this life together. We didn't marry just to give birth to these children. These children are going. These children that we have now, they are going, and they're not even like us that we're even remembering to. They are just moving forward. So you need that your partner. That's all you have. That wife, that husband, that's all you have. The truth, that's all you have. Hold on. Do what you need to do to fix it so that you enjoy that old age together. I hope I've answered you, sir. Okay. Next part. Agasa. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor. And thank you for the elaborate lectures. We are really blessed to have you in our midst. We do apology to the men. Please, can you close your ears? Because my question is about the girls. Please. My question is about the girls. I want to start by saying, when we are girls, as in coming up from 20 to 30, what's happening now? I said, man, close your ears. The question is for the girls. Around 20 to 30, most of us girls, our period, you can use 1 pad, 2 pad, and it's normal. 3 days, it will go. But now, from 40, 45 to 50, the thing is becoming heavy. You have to use 4 to 5 pad or 6. Your blood is draining. Is it a symptom of the menopause or changes or something? It's a thing of concern to me, please. Thank you.
Yes and no. Yes and no. So yes, some people, as I said, menopause affects everybody differently. So some people have that as a symptom. Their flow increases tremendously. But then it could also be a sign of maybe something medically wrong. So for you to clarify, you need to go to a doctor. Let a doctor be able to tell you there's nothing wrong with you. Then you know that. So please, for every symptom you have, once you're like 40 going upwards, don't just say, oh, my friend had this thing, so it must be menopause. Oh, I'm having backache. Somebody said, oh, because backache is one of the symptoms of menopause. Please go and check first. Let the doctor say, we've checked and there's nothing. Then you now attribute it to menopause. But so if you're having that flow and it's that high, you need to check. Because if it's not menopause, it could be cyst, fibroid, any other thing. So you need to check, please. Don't just take it for, okay.
Okay. I need to stand up for this because we know so much about menopause, but we don't know what happens to the guys. Like, I can tell you some few signs of menopause.
I used to bump into things. I would just be walking, all of a sudden, wow, I hit something. What is this? Then I forget a lot. I can be going to the kitchen that I want to do something. I'll get to that kitchen and I forgot. I will go back, come back. They'll be wondering. I had to tell my husband, I beg you with God, I can't remember. Please, don't keep anything with me. Every day, I said, don't stop keeping things with me. I can't remember. For a truth. Not that maybe I'm doing it intentionally. You can give me this. You understand? Especially things to do with house. Please, no. Those are not, I will not remember. So I want to find out, can the guys give us some symptoms? Like for her, as she was saying, when I started menopause, I was using 1 pad per hour. It was flowing heavily. In fact, I was flying that night from Abuja to London. That's 6 hours. I used 2 full packs. Every time I was just going to the toilet, the people had to ask me. And the pains was something else. I couldn't even lie. I couldn't sit. My back was tearing. I was like, God. Until when I got to the UK, I had to go to the hospital. They said, madam, it's menopause. It's menopause. And you will just be sitting down. One heat will come. Inside AC. You'll be wondering, what is happening? The heat, you are sweating alone. The whole place is cold. So those are signs. But it happens, people have their own different symptoms. So the reason I'm standing up is, please, can the men tell us what happens to you people? So that we can know. We don't know. It's only low libido. Stevie, please tell us what happens to the men. We want to know.
Thank you, gentlemen. All I can say that when you are 25, your activity sexually is high. As you advance, it reduces. So the woman should know when you people together got married, maybe you see her every day until when she's in a period time, you don't have sex with her. This time around, maybe once in a week or twice in a week, she should understand that you people are aging. That is the sign. For some men, but for some men, they still fire as they are.
Thank you once again, Doctor, for a very, very good lecture. I think apart from the menstruation thing, until like every other thing applies to men. Like the issue of forgetfulness, always stressed, sleeplessness, and many other things. Because maybe I should just explain small. Menopause, just like in women, is gradual decline of testosterone, in men, where yes, loss of libido too is there and things like that. So, but apart from that, every other things applies to men too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all the responses. Okay, sir.
Let me advise the men on a lighter note. If you have tried what Madam have said and it didn't work, learn to stand on 2 legs or 3 legs or 4 legs. That will solve the menopause issue Madam have just said. Thank you.
Okay. Let me say something. Okay, 1 minute. I'll give you some. I'm just going to say something about that because that's something that I was going to talk about later, but I better just seize the moment. Now, we're having a lot of issues that are coming up from aiding sexual, what do we call it now? Strength to agility. Because, as I said, I was talking about us taking in a lot of things that are affecting our bodies. Please be very careful. Be very careful about what you're taking in because the thing is that you might take these things now. When you get to 65, when the menopause and everything has passed and you just want to enjoy your old age with your wife, then you go completely down. It's not even, nothing can make you stand up, nothing. It gets to that point. So our bodies are different. Some people are lucky. These things won't affect them. And that's why from the beginning I talked about genetics, biological makeup, so that we understand that everything I'm saying here does not apply to everybody. But for everything you do, that's why I said know your body, understand your body, and know what's happening to you. Thank you.
My dear colleagues, good morning, everybody. I want to appreciate the facilitator of this lecture this morning. Ma, we are very much grateful. We are being enlightened and informed. My question is, I'm paramilitary, and the nature of our job, it distances us from our wives. And this is affecting us much. You find out that most are living promiscuous lives because your family is not with you. Honestly, since I married my wife, we were together. We started together. Anywhere I go with her. From Borno State, we were together. Come down to Abuja, we are together. Now I was transferred to Kogi State. And I decided to keep them here in Abuja. I've stayed in Kogi State for getting to 10 years now. We've not been together. All this while I've been in Kogi State. But the challenge is, you won't have even time to come and see them. And you know, this one, you can't stay like that as a man. You know? Honestly, ma, to be frank with you, we the uniform personnel, very few that are faithful to their wives because of this singular issue. Because you need to be, be intimate with your wife, but you discover that she's not closer to you. And this thing you are feeling it, they say, body don't be wood. So, honestly, you try to hold yourself. Even when Uncle G said, they say, Oga, we want to give you wife here. I said, which kind of wife? Wife again. My wife is there. I can't do this thing. I can't do it. The pressure was much, man. But to be frank, most of us uniform personnel, we flit a lot. Very few that you find them faithful. Those that are even faithful, say, you discover that it's only God. But the bottom line is, you are not meeting your wife as it is supposed to be. And time is going. You are no longer the way you used to do before. So this actually is a challenge to us. So, honestly, on my part, I've been feeling it. But I've tried my possible best, according to my faith and my religion. When you have to hold yourself, no matter. And my colleagues know, even when I came here yesterday very, very late. My family are in Abuja here. I entered around 8:30 inside Abuja. I left my place of work around 3. Because the office work is very tedious. But because of this meeting, you see this caliber of people here, I would not want to miss meeting this meeting. Because very important people are here. As you see us here, this is a great family. The Lord will continue to bless each and every one of us. What you have put in us, I tell you, even Unimaid 95 jambites, they cannot do the thing with us. So I give kudos to all of us here. The Almighty God will continue to bless and guide us. Thank you very much.
Okay, before I...
Hello? I now understand why Peter was very worried when his Oga said, you cannot come to the meeting tomorrow. So it's not just for the meeting. It's for another meeting in the other room. Thank you.
That's one thing I'll say. For me, as a mental health person, as a psychologist, we always stay on the middle ground. Because it's always about your mental health and what will keep you going. But at the end of the day, it's about your values and your principles. Those are the things that determine how the path you take in life. And we'll treat that in a bit when we go to retirement. So let's go into retirement. Okay, so what does retirement mean to you? We have the traditional view, we have the modern reality. Which one do you fit in? Stop working at a specific age, that's the belief, and then go live off pension or savings until the end of life. That's the traditional. Who is, yeah, okay. Who is sticking with the traditional up to now? The modern view is, the modern reality is gaining time autonomy, the freedom to choose how you spend your days. So launching a new chapter focused on purpose, health, and connection. So that's what I'm about to talk about here. I'm not talking about anybody that feels that, okay, I can't wait to when I'm 65, I'll just go to my village. They have already built a village house. You want to wake up in the morning, put your, what do you call it, your armchair, sit under the tree, and be drinking kunu or something. If that is your plan, then we can excuse you. Just go and lie down in your room for a while. Yes, it's still, if you're going back to farm, it's still part of what we're talking about. It's a new chapter. Farming is a new chapter. What I mean is when you just feel, Nagama Ike, I'm finished. It's all right. I've done enough. Because some people will say, I remember my father did that thing. When he retired, he now called me, said, even, I had younger ones. He said, even school fees I'm not paying again. I've trained you, you have worked. So I've retired. Take care of the other ones. I'm like, but you still have money. He said, no. Take care of your younger ones. I've retired. I want to enjoy my life now. So for some people, that's the idea. I've retired, and that's the end of the story. I want to just grow old. So we're looking at launching a new chapter, focusing on purpose, health, and connection. Those three things, okay? So next slide. So the three pillars of retirement meaning. There are three key pillars. This is a lot. As I told you, you get the slide, so you have this with you. But I'll just quickly read through. This is usually, I'm sure a lot of us have heard of this. And before even you get to retirement, there will be more talk about this in your offices and all that. But basically, financial security, which has to do with your income sources, your checking, your pensions, your savings, your investment, the planning tips. You start saving early and consistently, diversify investments to manage risks, create sustainable withdrawal strategy to avoid outliving your savings, emergency funds. You know, the thing about this financial security thing that I found is something that gives us a lot of anxiety. Because when we talk about retirement, people say, oh, you should have this amount of savings, you should have this, you should have this. That's what is creating the anxiety even among the men. Like, oh, I'm already getting to 50. What have I kept? What have I not kept? But I've seen people who have kept so much, and then they retire, and because they have not developed what skill or idea or plans of what they want to even do with that money, they retire within 1 year, all the money is gone. And then that's why I say that when some people retire, they die. Because some people have good jobs. Somebody was saying that those who work in oil companies and CBN, God forbid, but that they all die quickly after retirement. Because it's about changing your mindset about what you have and what you can do. It's not about the money you keep in the bank. The money is just to ensure that you don't come out and then you realize that you've not made any financial plans. So the financial plans are good because it ensures that you have a plan for how you're going to feed, how you're going to, take care of yourself, so that you're not looking for your children to come and pay bills. You have all that sorted out. But the truth is that change of mindset is what is key, more than even the finances. Because if you keep money today, with Nigeria, the way Nigeria is now, carry your money and give someone to do business for you. I'm a business person. You can't trust anybody, not even your own brother or sister. Nobody will manage your money for you the way you manage it. So if you are not thinking of what to do with the money, you're just saving the money, then at 65, after your retirement party, the next morning you will wake up, it's okay, I have 100 million, let me go and do business. Money will finish. It won't go anywhere. Then physical health, we've talked about it a bit. Regular checkups, screening, because the one thing you don't want is to get to 65 and then all that, and that's another thing that can happen. You don't do the things that you need to do at 45, 50, 60. You now retire with 100 million in your bag. Doctors will just be smiling, waiting for you. Come and give us your money. Because today you go for checkup, 200,000. Tomorrow you go for this one, 500,000. Next tomorrow, and then before you know it, the whole money has gone on medicals. So what did you do your whole 35 years of service? You saved money to dash doctors. So that's why we're having this conversation when you're 45 going to 50, because changes you make to your health, physical health now, is what's going to help you enjoy whatever financial savings you're making towards retirement. If not, at the end of the day, so healthy habits, balanced diet, hydration, regular exercise, adequate sleep, stay on top of medications and treatment plans. That middle one is very important. If not, everything will just go down the drain. Then mental well-being, purpose and identity, finding new roles, volunteering, mentoring, hobbies that can restore purpose, social connections, I've talked about that, stay engaged with friends and family, community, mental stimulation, mindfulness. So this is really important. Part one and two is really, really important. That's where the change in the mindset comes from. But we're going to talk about something that will now tie into this. The next slide. Next slide, please. So the key questions for self-reflection, which I want us to think deeply. Identify, who am I without my job title? Who are you without your job title? Director. Please, what is your title, sir? Like Major General, Captain, I'm thinking Doctor, Professor, managers. Whatever the title is, who are you without that job title? Have you just looked at your life, all of a sudden I'm director, then one day you wake up, you're not director. Then who are you? Nobody, nothing. Yo, it will stop ringing completely stop ringing. I spoke to a lady yesterday, she was in my office yesterday. Her husband was a general or whatever that was. Is it general that usually when your classmate is appointed, they have to drop. Yeah, so her husband was dropped, I think the last, not this set, I think the other set. And she was sharing, she came because, the problems that they're having. And she said her husband was like a the military was his life. Everything was just about that. And then all of a sudden, he pulls off that uniform and everything changes. And she said, it keeps happening to others. And you think you are prepared until it happens to you. So you will just wake up and realize that I thought I was prepared for this. No matter how they tell you the phone will keep ringing, you will think, I know, it's okay. When the phone stops ringing, I'll know what to do. Honestly, you go and lie on your bed and tears will drop from your eyes because the phone is no longer. You will not know how much that ringing of the phone means to you. You will not know how much it means for someone to say, sir, sir, sir. All of a sudden, there's no one sir. So it's really, really important. So these are the questions you need to begin to reflect on, which is what is leading us to where we're going to. The second question, your relationships. Which connections need more of my time? I gave you the example of the woman and her husband. So you, the husband, I'll just keep giving an example with this military thing. Like this woman said, her husband was always like the example he gave, which is true. Her husband is never around. Today he's in Akwa Ibom transfer. Tomorrow he's there. He will come home for the weekend. She's the one with the children and everything. And then all of a sudden, he's back at home. And she doesn't know what to do with him. She said, I'm just looking at this man. What am I supposed to do with this man now? He wakes up in the morning, he's in my front. He wakes up, I go to the kitchen, he's there. And I'm not used to seeing him. I'm used to waking up, hello, honey, how are you? Okay, how are the children? They've gone to school. Okay, yes, we need money for this. We need this one. Okay, how is your day? Fine. That's their relationship. Then all of a sudden, she wakes up and the man is there. She enters her room, the man is there. Like, what do I do with this man? He now becomes a burden, a liability. Yes, it's the truth. Yes. So if you don't develop this connection where you have a good friendship with your wife, a good friendship, so much so that when you sit together, you can gist. People will go, maybe I'm just lucky, but I have a husband who is very, he has his friends very close to them, but he's also a very, very family man. So my husband comes home from work at the evening on Friday, and he can stay in that house till Monday when he's going to work again. That's how my house, except if there's a mechanic or something. So that's what I'm saying. I just said I'm lucky. So please don't use that as a comparison. But I'm just giving you an example. So because of that, we sit together, we talk, we watch movies. You say, hey, there's this documentary. Come, let's watch. Then I am very busy. So sometimes I'm like on Saturday is my busy day. I see clients. So I might be seeing clients from 10 to like 5. I may be doing this. Sometimes I even see clients at 10 in the night because I have clients in the US, Canada. So sometimes we have sessions 10 p.m., 11. But the point is that we have a connection. We have a friendship. So it's not about how busy you are. Like Oga said, we're talking about not being with his wife. But develop the habit of building a friendship, build a connection. Build a connection that even when you're not there, when your wife wants to, when something happens to you, let it not be that her best friend she's calling. Let it be her husband. The same thing with the woman. When something happens to your husband, be the best friend that your husband is calling. That when you sit on the phone, even if you're 10,000 miles away, your gist, it will be as if, I have to give my wife this gist. See what happened to my colleague. I can't wait to go home and give my wife this gist. This is the connection. If you don't have that connection, you cannot build it at 65 or 60. You can't. Instead, at that point, that's when the struggle starts. That's when you sit, you that have been so busy, you sit down, you're looking at the big mansion you've built, the 5 cars in front of your house, and you're miserable. And that's one of the things that retirement does. So that's why people die. It's not because they are not happy with what they have or they are not grateful that they've achieved, but connection is so important. You don't keep in touch with your brothers. Your brothers are calling you, let's hang out. You say, no. Then you retire at 6, then you pick the phone and you're calling them. They don't have time for you. They've lost the connection with you. They've connected with other people. So they're not interested in your gist. They might see you once or twice, but when they want to spend time with people, they're not the first person that comes to their mind. You're maybe the 10th person. So it's not their fault. They've just grown used to not having you around. So connection, whether it's with friends, whether it's with your siblings, whether it's with your wife, you have to prioritize which connections do I need more of my time. That's what you should be reflecting on now. At this age, you should define your connections. Who do I want? It could even just be your children. You can say, okay, I just want that connection with my children. Because even for a father, you may want that connection with just your children. But define the connection that is important to you. Then your legacy, what do I want to leave behind? That's another question you're asking. The knowledge, the values, the stories, what do I want to leave behind? So that's what you start thinking of now. If it's the knowledge, how have I built myself up? Do I want to write books when I'm going to retire? Do I want to, if I'm going to change a career, do I want to be able to give lectures? What is it that I want to do? Is it farming? Do I want to become a mechanized farmer? A farmer that at the end of the day, when I go to my village, I can bring up young people and they will say, oh, if not because of Alhaji this, I would not have learned how to farm this way. So now because of this person, you have left a legacy, you have done something. So it's not about acquiring, but what legacy do I want to give? And legacy is not that you've left a big house. I've seen so many people that have left big houses. They've sent their children abroad or children are working and they don't need it. When my parents died, people were calling me in Abuja and saying, you people's house, you don't go, a big house. But my brother has built his own house. My other brother is in Gombe. Me, I'm in Abuja. Where will we live? We don't need a house. So the house has been sitting there, big house. Nobody wants to live in it. We don't want to rent it. We don't know what to do with the house. We don't want to sell it because it's a family house. But it's empty, big house with big compound sitting there. So we have been thinking, what do we do with this house? But this is the house. I remember how my father will not eat food because he wants to build house. We will not do anything because he wants to build house. Unfortunately, maybe he thought, of course, he will live long and stay in the house, but that didn't happen. But the point is, the house is there. So at the end of the day, what legacy do you want? That legacy, those connections, those are the things that really, really matter. Okay? And then fun and growth. What have I always wanted to learn, see, or do? I've talked about traveling with your friends. Some of you have never traveled. Or what I mean never traveled is traveled on your own. So traveling is always when office sends. You're waiting for the office trip. Remove that small money and just say, you know what, let me go somewhere. See other places. Life is so short. We don't know tomorrow. No, we're not wishing anybody anything, but you wake up tomorrow and your back is paining. They say you cannot fly. Oh, and I was waiting that when I'm 65, when I retire, then I'll fly. So then you're not fit for flying. Then what do? You never go to you will never go to Ghana or you will never go to all these places. Because when you go for conferences, it's not the same as going on your own. You're going for something. So what are the things you want to do? Sometimes it's not even about traveling. It's just about little things that you want. What are the things you want to do? And then finances. Does my money plan support the lifestyle I envision? What's your money plan too? What's the kind of lifestyle you envision for you and your wife? What do you want to be doing with your wife when you retire? Are you thinking, okay, we want to just live in a small house? We want to what are the plans? What do you envision? So don't let it just fall on you. Walk into it. Walk into it. The other day they had a retirement party for somebody and the man did not show up. And he was so bitter. And I'm like, you should be walking into your retirement with your shoulder lifted high because you've planned it. You already know the date. So why should it surprise you? You should come into it with that confidence. It's a new phase. It's a time to walk into something new. Okay? Next slide. So this is a very important part of this self-reflection. Your strength. Oh, it's not showing. there's a graph that they're supposed to show. I don't know why it's not showing on his system. So what we're supposed to do with this in exploring, in reflecting, is to explore our strengths. Okay? Now, what do I mean by exploring strength? Like, for instance, a person that's been working, I talked earlier about somebody who is working in an office for 20-something years. The thing with as I said, with the brain is, if all you're doing is, maybe you're in charge of procurement, every time you're doing procurement, that's the only thing that your brain knows. So you get very good at the figures, you get very good at checking the loopholes, the gaps, you get very good at knowing the documents that should be there, you get very good on following up and monitoring, but then you lose it in other areas. So what's this, it's unfortunate. Anyway, when you see it's a graph that shows, okay, the different strengths I have. One of the things that we forget is, which is what I want you to reflect on, what are all those gifts, those talents that you had? Think of when you were 20, 30. What are those things you could do? And then what are those things that you've developed over the years? Think of even your leadership skills. Think of things that you've developed. Sometimes we don't even know how much we have acquired over the years. Think of when you were 25, when you were 30, when you were 35, when they put you in charge of this department. What strengths were you showing in that department? What skills did you have? When you reflect, you're able to bring them all to bear. Oh, okay, I'm good at writing. I'm good at coordinating. I'm good at this. I'm good at speaking. I'm good at this. So you begin to find out other areas of strength that you have. And then now you ask yourself, how much am I using? What's the scope of my usage of this strength? Do you understand? So for me, I told you, like, I went back into, because I could cook. I love cooking. I went into catering. So now as I am, I have a, what do you call it? A wellness center where I do workshops. Because I love cooking, people come to book the wellness center for retreats. I will coordinate the retreat. Then before the retreat at 10 o'clock, I wake up 5 o'clock and cook the food that they are going to eat. You know, my husband says I'm a Johnny Walker. Anyway, I wake up and cook. I just love doing it. I love cooking the food. So the people say, how can you be the one to cook the food? I say, because nobody's food is like my food. So it's my strength. It's a talent that I have. I've developed it. So I cook the food. I do the retreat. And I still do other things. You understand? So basically, check yourself and see, what are those areas that you have suppressed because you were pushing one other area up. Now, in discovering this, these are the things that will help you when retirement, when you want to launch yourself into that new phase, these are the things that will help you. So sometimes you are thinking, oh, I want to go into farming. But maybe it's not, yes, you go into farming, you just go and sit down and farm and you're getting the produce. But maybe there's something you can do in that space of farming. Maybe the kind of training you can give, the way you can, maybe you just be a motivation, maybe you'll be a coach or a mentor to maybe other young farmers. So what other skills do you have? This is the time to begin to reflect, look back, do a, what do you call it, stock take back in your life and check, what skills have I gained over the years? What are those things that I know that I love doing? Those things I'm passionate about. And then begin to see, how can I use these things for the next phase of my life? If I've used my mathematical brain for this, maybe now I can use my creative brain for this. Or I can use my emotional brain for this. Maybe I can now be a public speaker. I can be a motivational speaker. Whatever it is that you want to do. But understanding and knowing your strengths is very important. If we had time, we would have done the strength test, discover another. But I think you can even check on YouTube there. You would find those kind of things. So your strength enables you to function optimally. And as you move towards that age, please be aware of your strength. So that's one thing I want you to do. Those questions, when you go back home, reflect on them, then begin to look inwards. What are the strengths I have? What are the capabilities I have? Okay, next slide. Then we come to values. So these two things are the things you're reflecting on. Your strengths and your values. Those two things are the things that are going to sometimes the words just, sorry, they are going to bring about your reemergence into that new phase that you go to when you start marching towards retirement. Your strengths, you discover the talents that you have, the competencies that you have. But your values are not just, oh, I'm honest. No, when we in the psychological, when we talk about values, it's not just about being honest. Your value is a way of life. How am I deciding to live my life from this point? You understand? So values are answer to the question. In a world where you could choose to have your life be about something, what would you choose? What do you want your life to be about? Do you want your life to be about happiness? Is a value. Do you want your life to be about giving joy to others? Do you want your life to be about inspiration? Do you want your life to be about timeliness? What is it that you want your life to be? So this is a time you begin to think about those things. Values are chosen actions that can never be obtained, but can only be brought into being from moment to moment. They are a direction of life. I call our values compass. So it's a compass that directs you. What are the values I have? Like when I was talking about my husband, I said, okay, he's a family man. It's a value. It's principle. It's nothing more than that. You close from work and you feel that you must go to that beer parlor and sit down for 3 hours. But why? What does it add to you? If you go home and spend the 3 hours, does it take anything away from you? So it's values. What are the principles you want to live by? Because how does that direct your work from this point? How does that ensure that you are living the kind of life you want to live? Because at the end of the day, if you sit back after you retire, it's not going to be, as I said, about the houses you build. It's about the fulfillment you're feeling inside. So ensuring that you have found those values, you're living by those values, those are the things that determine your work. And those are the things that will give you the biggest peace. So you might see a man who will retire and go back to his village and he has a farm and he's so happy than you who will retire and you have your big house and everything and then you're still unhappy. So those values, begin to think about them. Have you been on this path? Maybe it's time to turn back to this path. What are the principles I want to live on? What's going to now refocus? What am I going to focus my energy on? Because values can be a starting point for a person to construct goals that promote behavior in certain directions, in those directions. What direction do I want to start? So, sir, for instance, if your body has been worrying you, you have not been able to control or this or that, we understand. You're only human. These things have happened. But then you're getting to 45. What do you want to do? Do you still want to go and meet that woman? What if she gives you hepatitis B, HIV, blah, blah, blah? How do you want the rest of your life to be? Struggling with ailments that you spend money that you have saved, working. Because by the time you get to 60, 65, remember your body is not as strong. So sicknesses like that take a greater toll. That's the values we're talking about. What decisions am I making about my values and principles that will ensure that I walk into that 65 with more energy, with more grace, with more stamina? These are the things we're talking about. These are the decisions you're making. These are the values you want to take, the principles you want to abide by. It's not for anybody. It doesn't make you less of a man if you stop doing certain things. It just makes you an intentional man, an intentional woman. I hope we understand that. So that's what values are. So you need to begin to think, what is the compass that is going to direct my life? Like the men that are on sea, they can't move the ship without a compass. So that value becomes your compass. Let it direct you. When you see yourself going this way, you say, no, I'm going out of line. Let me stick to this. Because now those values are determining the behavior that will be showing up. I want to start showing up as a disciplined man. I want to start showing up as a time-conscious man. Yesterday, the lady that came to see me, she came with her son, and the son said, he's a teenager that is giving her problems. And when he came in, he said, my mother said that she has never seen a more time-conscious woman like you. So she said, we have to be here by 9. I had a 9 a.m. session. And I said, yes, by 9 a.m., if I have 9 a.m., I'm sitting with you. By 15 minutes, I'm calling you, where are you? Because that's one of my values. I show up. That's why today when she said 10, I thought it was even 10:30. I saw her message late. But immediately I got back, I saw 10 o'clock. I started rushing. My husband was saying, but it was 10:30. I said, no, we've already said, I'm not doing anything. Let me get there for 10. And when I put on Google, my Google said, you will get there at 9:58. At exactly 9:58, I was telling my girl that, I was saying, well done, Google, in the car. You brought me at exactly, by 9:59, I was driving into this place for the 10 o'clock session. So those are the values. I want to show up. I want to show up. I want to be known for that. What do you want to be known for? It will not direct your behavior. Because what you put in your mind, this is who I am. This is who I want people to see me. That's how you show up. So that by the time you're getting to that old age, when people are celebrating your 70th birthday, they're saying, this is a man of this. This is a woman of that. These are the real things about you. Like a question I always ask my clients. I always ask them this question. I'm going to leave that for you to go on with it. If you mistakenly, accidentally, something happens to you, and it will now happen on the road, and they mistake it that, you're gone. But meanwhile, maybe you went into the bush and you got lost. And then you come, accidentally, they say, okay, let's do your funeral. So you come in and you walk into your own funeral. What will people be saying about you? What will people be saying about you at that funeral? Because remember, we always say good things about the death. So what will people be saying about you? But in the back, in the corners, in the little corners, what would they be saying about you? About your principles, about what you stood for, what you believed in. Please think about that as you prepare for your retirement. Let's go to the next stage. Next slide, please. So values, that's about values. Values are important. Then quickly, okay. So this now brings us to another. I know I talked about the 3 pillars of retirement at the initial stage, but this is now about what you're taking. So the question of the what is the gift. No more mandatory schedule. You own your calendar. So the question, what would you do if you had no obligation to anybody tomorrow? No obligation to the boss, to Nigerian government, to anybody. Your obligation is to yourself. What would you do? That's the first pillar. The second one is the purpose, the why. The void. Work often provides identity and routine, and then retirement creates a gap. So the opportunity, replace the purpose you had with a purpose you choose. Remember when we finished NYC, most of us, if you know what I studied and what I'm doing now, they are like miles apart, you know. But at the end of the day, you finished accounting, you got into the job because you are an accountant, and then before you knew it, you grew up in that office as a chief accountant. So that's, you found yourself there. Now you're about to choose. You have the chance to choose what you want to do differently. As I said, you have looked at your strength, you have looked at the other areas of your life that have been dormant, and you now want to bring them up. So now is the time to choose. That's the why. The why now is, I want to do this because of this, because I realize I have this strength, I have this value, I have this purpose. Then health and well-being is the how. How am I going to do it? I'm going to do it because, as I said, I'll stay healthy, I'll make the right decisions, I'll pick the right values, I'll behave the right way. So you need to enjoy, you need energy to enjoy your freedom and pursue your purpose. I've talked about that. So the investment is to focus on physical activity, nutrition, and mental engagement. So I'll be talking about the same things basically, but these are the 3 pillars. You know, the other 3 pillars were about those things that we need to put in place, but this guides you on the question, because what we're doing basically is pushing you into a place where you begin to reflect. So the what will you do with the time? The why am I replacing this with this? And then the how do I ensure that what I've picked, I'm able to achieve it? Do we get that? Are we together? Is this scary? Okay, let's go to the next one. I don't even know what's the next one. So reassess your retirement savings, which is also very important. For some of us, we have a pension and all those things which we have put in place, which is very good. When you have reassessed, when we have understood defining purpose, defining the vision, where we're going to, our mission, what we want to do, we need to also just keep reassessing. So don't just say, okay, I have my plan is to have so amount when I retire. From time to time, maybe every month, maybe at the beginning of every year, January, you need to reassess your savings, reassess your financial, your finances. So maybe every January, you can sit with your spouse and say, okay, let's reassess our retirement goals. What are the goals that I have set before? Is it changing? Like I said, today you might discover one talent that you have. Then maybe 6 months from now, just come on, you see yourself doing something. Maybe they give you a position in your organization or in church. Maybe you're promoted to a different position. Then all of a sudden you realize that I didn't even know I had this skill. Oh, now I have this skill. I can do this. So let me even invest some money in learning this skill more, in developing it. So that automatically changes the goal that you might have been setting. So you're not thinking, okay, maybe when I retire, I want to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Well, I think I like this particular skill that is showing up. Let me invest in developing it more. So now you're changing the goals, and so you need to reassess it. Not that you make one goal and you just keep it, that's it. You understand? Then you're also evaluating your current savings. What am I earning now? If I was saving 50K or how much out of my salary before, okay, because you have pension, they are taking out your pension every month. But now you have been promoted. You were living off so amount of money, so you can still take off another extra 100 and put it in a different scheme where you can now save that other part of the money. So it's not like, okay, I've been saving 200K, but somehow you're living. So instead of allowing your current income determine how you live, you can just decide, okay, let me do in such a way that I can still take this amount and invest into this. So keep reassessing your savings, maximize your contributions, whatever contributions you're making, cut unnecessary spending. By the time we get to 45, some things are not so necessary. We cut them and focus on the things that are expensive and the things that are important, Then diversify and rebalance investments, explore additional income streams, and then stay informed and adjust. Anything that is happening. I was watching Arise the other day, and is it Lotus or what is his name? Rotus was talking about financial investments that we can do. He was talking about different things that you can, bonds and all that. So keep your ears open for new areas that are coming. So many new things that keep coming up. Where can I invest? What can I put money in? Because at the end of the day, money is important, as we said, and that's one of the key things, especially for all of us that are raising kids. Now, we're all praying to raise kids that will remember us, but the truth is that you can't hinge on the children. You have to allow the children go and enjoy their lives and do their things. You have to plan for your own retirement. And as I said, it's not, the money is not guaranteed, but the money is important, so we have to plan around that. And then stay informed and adjust. I think those are the key things. So you have to continually reassess your retirement savings, reassess your retirement goals, and your retirement plans. Next, sir. So the action steps that we will take. This is just an hour, so we're not, I mean, it was not like a full retirement lecture, but yes. Oh, that's true. That's why I said you should draw my attention if I get carried away. You know, those of us that lecture, we just go on and on and on. Okay, do we want to do like a little body, a little stretch? Okay. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, so go and ease yourself. We should have done that actually after that first 1 hour before going on, yes. So sorry about that. I should have even remembered. I was supposed to be the mental health expert. Okay, so let's take a break. Sorry? Okay. Well done, sir. Thank you.
Hello, please, can we take our seats? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, please let's take our seats. Hello. 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 Hello, can we please take our seats? I'm taking over. Hello. Rabbi, Dijabe, what are you doing? Sit down, please. Take your seat. Anne, take your seat. Goni, you came late and you are still late. Goni Mala. Babana Kazana. Babana.
Come inside. Have your seat. Zakomi. Goni Mala. Dijamin.
Nat, can you help us call those guys outside, please? Dija, come and sit down now. We can start, go. Gandu. Elia Gandu. Take your seat, please. All right. Madam, you can. They will come. They will join us later.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry, I should have given us the break after the first sessions before the. So, but it's okay. Where were we? Any comments before we begin? Maybe just give the other people 2-3 minutes before they come back. So, with what we had, what we're talking about, just to rejig the brain. But this is so good. When I saw that, you know, when you said it was an alumni, I even thought it was secondary school because you hardly even find university alumni is doing so well. Honestly, so you must be a very unique one because I'm in my university alumni and I'm in my secondary school. That one we can't even get together and have a, let's just say lunch. We've tried that. Maybe just how many people will show up. So for you to be able to do this as a university alumni is really amazing. Yeah. That's really wonderful. Yes, clap for yourselves. That's really good, honestly. Really good. Well, is this all of you or there are some that are still not joined? No, I mean in terms of all of you're much more okay. So there are still others that are still not part of it. Yes. No. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Amazing. Okay, that's good. Country, no, naturally. No, of course, yes, I know. It can't be more than that now. Usually, you can only, yeah, when you're interacting in groups, it's still better to keep it small. Yeah, if it's too big, then it loses the. Anyway, we had already almost gotten to the end in terms of retirement, and I think we had touched quite a number of places and the key areas. What I had, my goal for the retirement planning was just to lead you into a place of reflection, so that by the time you're leaving, you're thinking, because you're not retiring tomorrow. So there's a different kind of workshop we do for those that are a month to retirement, 2 months to retirement, 3 months to retirement. And then there's what we do time, because what we're doing here is to ginger you into thinking about what is important, what is necessary, so that by the time it comes, you are more prepared and more, you're more ready. I think we had gone past this slide. Yeah. Action steps, yes. Okay, so the action steps that I wanted to leave with you is create your personal definition. Okay, so the first thing is create a want to-do list, not a to-do list. So list 10 things you want to accomplish in the first 5 years of retirement, and be specific. So what are the 5 things, if I retire today, what are the 5 things I want to accomplish, and what's the timeline to accomplish those things? So maybe in the first year, I want to start a coaching program. I want to do this. By the second year, I want to be able to set up a whatever it is. So begin to think about what are those things you want to do, because this will just help you have a very, very concise and what do you call it? No, say concise and detailed plan. 10 things you want to accomplish in the first 5 years of retirement. You want to travel. Where do you want to travel to? So this is very, very important. And if you remember what I said about reassessing those goals. So like setting the goal. Sorry, sir.
Please, the hotel management just informed us now that the water has been connected. And there are instances where we used to leave the taps on. That please, we should go to our various rooms and check if we had left our own, or so we can put it off. Thank you.
You want me to wait for everybody to check their rooms? Okay. Better so you don't have a soaked room.
He said if you don't.
Flooded. They should have done housekeeping now. Okay. But actually, that's what they should do. Because what if you're not in the hotel environment? They should go around the rooms and check. Exactly. They should go around. It's not coming up. retired, and I think while he was at work, he was very, well, he did his work well, but he was very approach to work like very bossy. Yes, exactly. Very like everything has to be done. I'm not playing, I'm not laughing, I don't want anybody to disrespect me and everything. And I'm sure we've seen some kind of examples of some people on their retirement day, people are beating drums and are laughing that, oh, I'm so happy you're going. And sometimes we think that that is not important. It's nothing. After all, they are just colleagues. But, you know, apart from the fact that these are people that you spend more time with your work colleagues, actually. But apart from the fact that you have friends outside, there are people that you meet in this group that even become people that will become your, you know, your right-hand people, you know, as you go further. But it's very important to, wherever you find your place, yourself, have meaningful relationships, because you never know the pocket of people or the group of people that will become your real tribe, you know. So sometimes you might have this group, and this group is good for coming out together, you know, bringing up old memories, meeting together. But then sometimes you have the original group of the real tribe, the people that ginger you in one way or the other. So just be open to new relationships. Don't think, oh, I'm already 50. Why do I need a new friend? Sometimes that new friend is a person that will, you know, bring some energy and some life into you. That's also another way of keeping you going. So as you're finding new purpose, finding new paths, also be open to new relationships, you understand? Because this, you never know where that relationship will take you. And then, as we said, lean on communities that will support you later. So find communities of like minds, people that think like you, that do things like you, that you can lean on later as you go on. So this is the time for forming. Either you form such groups, or you be a part of such groups, or, you know, if you hear of such groups, you want to join. But open yourself up to be in so many. There are so many different groups. Maybe this one is a financial group, this one is a religious group, this one is but open yourself up to these relationships, because it's very, very important. And then schedule a practice month. So I already talked about taking vacation. Even this is specifically just for those who are getting close to retirement. We always preach about learn how to begin to disconnect from that work, and, you know, maybe that work is so, you're so engrossed in that work, so you want to now start learning how to take time away from that work. So this one is take a month-long vacation where you completely disconnect from work, you know, and leave us. Oh, I missed out something there, I think. But basically, it's just you beginning to learn how to disconnect from that. That work doesn't become, because it's fear. That fear of, I know for civil servants, there are people that have never gone on leave because they're afraid that if they leave that deck, somebody will come and take their position. Or if they travel, one deal will happen and they will miss out. So you spend your whole 35 years of work never going on leave for one day, never leaving. And then the day you retire, you go back home and sit down, and the next week you're already having fever. Because routine is something too that you have to remember. Patterns and routines are things that are very, very strong. And so if it grips you, it's not just very difficult to break out of that. So if you have a pattern and a routine, oh, I get up, I go to work, I come back, I do this, I do that, and then you don't break those patterns once in a while, those routines, it can also be a problem. Those are things that can quickly lead you to depression. And, you know, before you know it, your mental health is seriously compromised. So these are the action steps that I'm hoping you can reflect on and begin to think, okay, what am I doing about this area? When you're reassessing those goals every January or whenever you want to reassess them, you want to check whether it's aligning with what we've agreed as the action steps. That's the next slide. Okay, retirement is not an ending. It's the ultimate personal development project. That's why you have your personal development. Retirement is the ultimate personal development project, because we're all sitting here hoping that we all get to 80 or 90. So it's another 20 years we're talking about. You get to 60, and then you still have 20 years to live. What do I do with the 20 years? So it's an ultimate personal development project. It's a chance to redefine on your own terms. Because, you know, when you're retiring, the office will gather and do a party, and they'll say, oh, he was a good boss, he was this, she was that. But now you're creating a plan where the success will now be on your own terms, where it can just be that she was a kind person, or she was a good person, or whatever it is, whatever. Remember, we talked about the values. Whatever it is you want to be recognized for, not what the organization has defined as success, or what the world defines as success. you have defined as success, because at the end of the day, those are the things that really, really, really matter. So I need you to just reflect on everything we've talked about, think about it, and you have the slides from time to time. You go through it, and I guess you'll be having more lectures on this kind of topics. Last slide. Thank you. Thank you for having me. So we can comments, questions. Let's begin to talk. We have some few minutes to answer your questions or comments. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you okay? Thank you.
Well done. You have really tried to enjoy the lectures that you have delivered. So, out of the challenges that you have adumbrated for the elderly persons that are passing through, so we have proposed some solutions to other problems. But the area that I want you to shed more light on it, on the issue of stagnation in career progression or career development, especially when you are deprived of promotions and other incentives in the area of your, career development whatsoever. So you feel this thing is actually killing inside, it's eating inside, deep inside you, and it's one of the problems that actually affecting us, as you are saying, we are aging or getting old earlier and all this and that, it's eating deep inside us. So whenever a person experiences such kind of challenges now, I think, will be the remedy for this kind of challenges. Thank you.
Okay, so he's asking about when you're experiencing that stagnation and it's eating you. Well, the truth about, I think I already talked a bit about that. It's just your desire to, it's all about being intentional. It's about your desire to, which is what I said, to rediscover your strengths. So that exercise is very, very, when you get the slides to do that exercise, because it's a circle that has you reflecting on what are the strengths that I have, and then you will now be able to point them out and then see how much of what you're. So you might be in an office and you're being asked to do only a particular thing, and within that role that you're performing, you're beginning to experience that stagnation because there's no room for growth, there's nothing to explore. It's now left for you to now decide on, okay, so let's say maybe you're, it's not easy to just say, okay, I can transfer from one department to the other, but okay, what other way can I bring value to this organization? Maybe if I were to learn this particular course, or if I do this course or something, it may allow me to contribute when they are doing this particular event or activity. So for instance, you're in an office where maybe you're the accountant. So because accounting job can be quite routine, and you're not, maybe it's an organization where they do, so let's say maybe it's a communications organization or something. So you may decide that, okay, I know I'm an accountant, and my accounting job is quite tasking, but why don't I take a course on something that's to do with communication? So let's say there's an event going on, I can still bring a little bit of value, because what gingers you out of stagnation is just the fact that you're able to see yourself contributing something. That stagnancy comes from you feeling that, you've just hit, you've hit that bar and there's nothing more to give, and you're not even nothing is being even demanded of you. But imagine that there's something going on, you come and say, oh, I did a course on this, and you can do this and this. So then I say, okay, I know you're in the account, but maybe come and add this to what we're doing. And then sometimes you might be in an organization that doesn't even allow that flexibility, but in your place of maybe social gatherings or whatever, you can find something that would allow you, contribute in that area. So you may not be, because I don't want us to get it wrong, you may be an organization that will permit you to explore other areas. So you will not have to seek for something different that allows you to be who you want to be, and then you get through your job every day. I don't want to get us delusional that maybe we can come and change things or study a course, and of course we all have different organizations and different dynamics in those things. But I think it's for you to see your own situation and see what you can do about the situation. But I believe that there's always a way you have to find a way to motivate yourself. You can't wait for anybody to do it. That's what we're basically talking about here. All is in our hands. If I'm stagnant, if I'm feeling stagnant, what can I do? Let me look around, let me reflect, let me look deeper and see what can I do to change the narrative for myself. That's it. Because nobody can change it for you. Nobody will look at you and pity you, or nobody will want to help you. In fact, they will want to push you further down. So you have to find a way to bring yourself out and say, okay, let me make a difference to my situation, because I know where it's leading me to. I don't know if anybody has something to add to that. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your wonderful lecture. But when you were giving us the lecture, it reminds me very well of the advice that we were given when we started work. I will give myself as a personal example. 21 years ago, when we started job, the first lecture that was given to us by our boss was, as you start this work today, start preparing for your retirement. That a day will come when you retire. But there was something you said. I think I just want to add more voice to that, more like a rider. It is never too late to start something. Never too late. So that self-reflection is very, very important. What are your strengths? What can you do different from what you are doing now? It is never too late. And again, we shouldn't wait until we retire, then we start planning on what to do. Because at that stage, there will be frustration, and the money that you may have may not even be enough. It's a field that we really want to delve into. Start studying about it. Start looking at how can you make best out of these things when you retire. Because by the time you retire, going back to your mental health lecture, your wife will be seeing you every day. As she's seeing you every day, there's a set of frustration that will come. You yourself, you're not going to the office anymore. So a different life again comes in. And if you're the kind of person who does not differentiate between personal and your official, whereby there are certain things that you get when you're an official as an official, but now you are no more. So that privileges is not there. Frustration will set in. So planning is the key word now. Plan to see that, look, tomorrow we are not going to be there. So start living a life of somebody else that is about to retire, rather than waiting until the last day, then you start doing that. A lot of people that we see getting frustrated is about that. Things that ought to be coming to them before is not coming anymore. So planning, and I mean that's the key word. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ma. Sincerely, I've been so blessed. I celebrate you. I would like to be like you when I grow up. If I can go back and get more degrees, but I just discovered that, okay, I was just sitting by her, and even after you offered you were going to give us the slides and all that, she said, I don't have to write. And I said, I'm so busy that I don't really have much time to read, but I'm somebody that as it's going on, and I do this jotting, it stays. And that's what I work with. Somebody said, when you don't plan, you have already planned to fail. And I want to buttress on my director's point. To the glory of God, started this water 2 years back. It's just 2 years old, and I'm still a civil servant. Like I said, I'm going somewhere. In these 2 years, I have not had 1,000 naira profit. So what am I trying to tell us? If you wait until you retire before you start it, all that money that you gathered, maybe you thought you had 50 million naira, that you're going to put it into it, and that you are going to meet a lot of challenges, teething stages, that is going to collect that whole money that you thought you have had. And you will not see the 50 million naira and you will not see the business. Procrastination is deadly. And when you start it, sometimes along the way, you may discover that you may not be able to continue with this. So when you have started it early, it gives you the opportunity to be able to drop that particular thing and run after what is not necessarily profit that you're looking for. Because if you base anything you want to do just on profit, then you will never be happy. You must come to a point of realization whereby it's about passion. It's about value that you give out. It's about influence. It's about your little circles and how you can be able to extend something to somebody and feel fulfilled in life. So I just want to encourage us, just to buttress on what Director has said, that you don't have to wait, please, until you are there. Start it. Start it now, and you will not regret it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so amazing. Just, sorry, 1 minute. I just need to say something to that. That truly, as she said, you can, I mean, I'm in business. Even the Nigerian environment alone stresses you enough. I know how long it took me, almost 2 years, to get my NAFDAC number for some of my products. So these are things that really, and as I told you, even when it comes to business in Nigeria right now, our young people are thinking is really, I mean, I don't even know what's going on. So you can't even trust anybody with what you have. You have to be so involved in what you're doing. So as she said, start now, make your mistakes, lose the money because you will lose money then before you get to the point where you begin to make money. So start now and don't procrastinate. Don't waste any more time. Thank you.
Thank you once again, our resource person, for a well-delivered lecture. I think I just want to add something, maybe something different. Apart from trying to get an income maybe after retirement, I think there are some things too that will help us to even fit in this new life that we're going to have after retirement. I learned something from my boss. He's a general. But I discovered that this man shined his boots. He ironed his clothes. He washed his car. And I was like, Ilya, if I leave this job today, I will not have these soldiers working for me like this. So let me try and fit into it. As little as that. So we see some generals, once they retire, those paraphernalia of soldiers everywhere, somebody will drive you, someone will cook for you, somebody is not going to be there again. And next thing, you develop an element that will end up taking up your life as early, or immediately after retirement. I think we should also look into that. There are some things that we must to do now that will help us to fit into that new life after retirement. Thank you.
Really appreciate your lecture. It's so wonderful. Interesting. In fact, I would have missed, as it be I missed this reunion, I would have missed a lot. As it be I missed this gathering, I would have missed a lot. Actually, there was a man who was so concerned with the family alone, the wife and the children. He trained them very well, about 4 children, and the 4 children got job overseas. They left. The man remained with the wife. After some time, the children got married. The 2 got married to their husbands, and the 2 got married to their wives. After some time, pregnancy set in, and they were about to leave. Mama, we want you to come. Oh. She's about to deliver. Oh. All of them, as if they planned it, one after the other. This one delivered in Italy. After that one, the other one in UK was delivered again. After that one, the other one in India, and like that. For 4 good years, the woman was not with the man. The man was alone. The children, no, he invested in the children. There was nothing bad about that. For him to invest in the children, train them, and give them good education. There was nothing wrong about that. And after all of them left, he was retired, and he turned around, there was nobody. no wife, no children, who can cook for me? But this man, like, he was not having that social connection. Family, my family, my family. He doesn't have a brother that he talks with, doesn't have a friend, doesn't have anything on. He was left alone. Turned to a miserable bachelor. That at that age, he could cook for himself. He could wash for himself because nobody wanted to come close to him again, because when he was doing well, he didn't care about anybody. So this really touches me a lot, and say, when he called the wife to come, the wife said, the other one is about to leave out. Stuff like that. So we should learn to be social. We have to connect ourselves. That's all these things. If your children may want to leave you, the wife will not be there, and you'll be alone. And that alone will kill you because of the hypertension. You are lonely. You turn around, there's nobody to talk to. You turn around, there's nobody to advise you or do something, to socialize with you. So you have to learn something about that. Thank you so much.
Connections. I've spoken so much about connections. Connect with your brothers, connect with your sisters. Have those groups, have that, have your back, and come and stay even the connection with your family. Because the way you're talking about this man, in as much as he invested in his family, it also depends on the kind of connection he had with them. Because if you have a connection, even you and the wife can move together. I'm just thinking that maybe if there was a connection, there will still be some semblance of, sanity in what was going on around him. But it's true, the issue of Omugo and mothers going on to stay with their children and leaving the men alone, all those things happen. And that's why we talk about community connection, where in the community, what are you doing? So if you find things that you're doing, you would still be able to be contributing to things where you won't feel so much of that loneliness. And then, as we said, if you have your group that you meet up once in a while, but connection is key, especially at this level of our life. We have to have groups that we are connected to. So social connection is really important. Any other? Okay.
Good afternoon, Doctor. My own is share too. I have worked in the financial sector for a very long time, I think all my life. And I've attended so many courses on mental health and retirement. And there was never a time that I had it so impactful like the one we had today. Seriously, and when you talked, some of the points you made is just like you are talking directly to me. So I really appreciate, and I hope we all learn one that we will apply in our lives as we travel back home and face the challenges of life. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Okay, if there's nothing more, it's 1 o'clock. I really have to go. So thank you so much for having me in your midst. I'm very grateful, and thank you. Thank you for participating.
Okay, on behalf of everyone, please can you rise up? Let's give her a round of applause. Mahmoud has said it. She has done so much. She has untrained. We have relearned a lot of things. And as she has said, every one of us should go and take the strengths and weakness test. I actually thought we should all take it here before we go. Open your phone, do that, and you'll be able to see, I know the slide she was talking about. I always do it, reappraising yourself. When you open it, it's everywhere on the internet. Just check how to know your weaknesses and your strengths, and you'll be able to know what you can really do. Because as you answer the show you, your scores and everything. So I want to thank you very much. We appreciate you. I told you this is the major part of the reunion, and we thank you for coming. Thank you so much. So she's going to send the slides to me, and then I'll send it to the group. Yes, I'll send it to the group. Thank you.
No, he said the tea.
Okay, yes. Is your card here? Okay, but I can give you her contact. Yeah. Okay, that's true. Please, can we snap with her? Just there. Can we all just snap with her? As far, that's one of our major activities. She does tea, she does spices, This side is tight. In the photo shoot.